sound is good. Very good. Let me see. Perfect. This is okay. It's the wrong presentation, but it's fine. We sent multiple ones. It's perfectly fine. I think we do not need too much of a presentation anyway, because I can speak to you just from what I know, because I do Web3 security day and night now for maybe 3 or 4 years. And basically today I want to share with you what's the current state of Web3 security, what's maybe the future, where we are standing right now, and where we are going to. I want to speak from 2 viewpoints. One is from the security researcher viewpoint, which is many of you and many people that I have been speaking to. They're freelance auditors. I have also been speaking to many clients, so this is the other viewpoint, whereas all of these clients are facing so many problems when it comes to security, and they're finding with their constraints, which are, again, time, money, talent, quality. So there are so many issues that need to be resolved. Yes. Currently, as an auditor, as a security researcher, there are multiple options that you can take, multiple paths, because you can choose, first you can choose your technology. You can do Solidity, you can do Rust, you can do Move, you can do Golang, you can do so many types of audits. Also, even if you are a Web2 security researcher, if you have been a cybersecurity guy in a company where you did pen testing or some traditional security, sometimes you still have been reviewing code here and there, maybe reviewing AWS configurations. It's pretty much the same mindset. You're still trying to find the error. You're kind of like, a little bit like this negative person who is always trying to find the wrong thing in what the other person is saying or doing, and this is what you're doing through code. But many Web2 security researchers have been transitioning successfully to Web3 because it's the same mindset. And again, now you can start with many different things. You can start with Solidity, you can start with Move, Rust, whatever. The technology doesn't matter too much. The next thing you have to decide pretty much is, of course, you have multiple levels. Like you can be an employee, you can be a freelancer, you can be like a bug hunter. Very, very many different levels. And when it comes to newbie security researchers, you usually most people start with security contests. Like you know the platforms which are Coderina, Sherlock, you know Cantina. All these platforms are paying very big rewards. Even right now, if you open a website which aggregates all the security contests, you see that there are probably maybe $3 or $4 million in rewards that are actively being given out to successful security researchers, people who can really find vulnerabilities. So this is huge, like, and it's permissionless. Because when it comes to a job is also great, but one problem with a job is that somebody needs to say he is good enough. Somebody needs to approve you. Somebody needs to allow you to join their company, their culture, which is kind of a blocker. This is kind of a constraint. And you do not have this with security contests. You just need to register, you just need to have a GitHub account, and you can submit vulnerabilities there. And it's like total meritocracy. If you submit great vulnerabilities that other people are not thinking about, that they are not creative enough to think of, and if those vulnerabilities are like critical severity, so you can steal lots of money, like millions of dollars, you'll be getting paid very well, which is exciting. I was very excited about this when I was starting out with Web3 security. Then another option, when you can... the great thing about contests is that you have this permissionless nature, where nobody needs to approve you, nobody needs to even like you. Maybe everybody hates you, but you just go behind your nickname and you just submit vulnerabilities, and you'll be getting paid. The next level is when you start to build some relationships in the space, when people start actually saying, this guy is good, he's a great auditor, he's a nice person or whatever. You can start, you're building kind of a brand. Because what's a brand? A brand is what other people think of us. Their gut feeling when we're not in the room, maybe. So this is it. And when you actually start getting great results in contests, people are starting to say, oh, this guy is good, maybe we can work with him. There's a little bit of connection being built here. So then you can start doing this thing which is called audits, which I have been doing many of. I was one of the guys who did lots and lots of SOA audits. I did over 50, and I had great success with it. So this is something that when you get some success when it comes to contests, you can start doing. You can start doing SOA audits, which is pretty much you're the only auditor, and a company hires you to handle their smart contract security by yourself, which is a great thing because you don't have to share the profit. You get all the payment for you. You don't have you have to negotiate with the company how much they pay you, but then this money comes to you. You do not have to split it with a colleague, or it's not going to your boss or whatever. But again, you're auditing by yourself, so you're not able to create the same quality of service that comes if you are like 4 auditors. Like if it's one great auditor, it's always less than 4 great auditors, of course. It's simple math. This is why SOA audits, when it comes to price, which is a very interesting topic which we should discuss, SOA audits can range from really like a few $100 up to, I would say, even hundreds of thousands of dollars, depending on your brand, depending on your skill, depending on the amount of work that you need to do. I can tell you that I personally started with, I did like my first SOA audit was like 6 hours of work, very small code base, like 300 lines of code. And I got paid for 6 hours, $100 hourly pay, so it was $600. And it got me crazy motivated. And I saw that there is a real opportunity. The client was very happy. They really got some security. I found like 2 high severity vulnerabilities, which was very valuable to them. And they also paid me just $600, which for a business of their size was nothing. So this is a great way to actually, a great path where you can take as an auditor. First you start with the contests, then you get to a SOA auditor, and here you can actually join forces with the companies where they will be paying you directly, and you will start creating a partnership. From this, you actually start working with more and more companies, with bigger brands, bigger names, and you get to a point where you have now worked with some very big names, you have been getting paid very well, and more people are starting to come by themselves to ask about your services. They just come and say, do an audit, do an audit. And at a certain point, you will be doing so many audits that you cannot do anymore. So you have to hire people, you have to team up, you have to hire other smart security researchers, and then it's another point where you realize that maybe you're not even that good, maybe other people are much better than you. So it's even smarter to hire them, and they should be actually doing the audits. And this is what many companies also realize, and this is another point where why they don't work so much with SOA auditors, is because team audits are they're just better. They're just better. There is no fight around this. Everybody knows that team audits are better because it's just more people. If all of them are smart, it just works better. But of course, you have the constraint of money. It's much more expensive. Still, what we are seeing in the space is growing very well. Investors are pouring lots and lots of money into it, which makes it possible that startups, some small teams of people that started a company, they raised a few $1 million, which is very common. It's almost easy nowadays in crypto to raise like a few $1 million. If you, let's say you raise $3 million, like 10% of this, if you put it aside for your security budget, is like $300,000. And with $300,000, if you plan well, if you don't have too big of a code base, you can really get both a SOA audit, a team audit, maybe you can even do a contest, which is great. So when you are a company, you really want to have the multi-layered approach. You really want to take advantage of all of these levels. Also, there's a level even behind these, the ones that I just mentioned, when it comes to the companies. One thing that is not enough of a trend, but it really should be, is hiring security researchers in-house, or maybe external security researchers, but maybe like a virtual chief information security officer, VCISO, or whatever you want to call it, like fractional CTO, whatever name you want to use, but you really need highly paid, highly trained consultant on your security. No matter how good you are, if you're a founder of a project, you're not a security researcher. You do not know enough about security to make the proper choices. And one of the biggest problems about your choices will be that you will be spending too much money. You won't be efficient with your security budget, which is a huge mistake. If you hire this guy, yes, you will spend more money this way, but he will help you really nail down the actual being a little bit stingy with your money and being smart with him, being frugal. Where, in my opinion, being frugal in a business is very important, especially if you are money constrained, especially if you didn't raise lots of money. So this is the way. It's very smart to have a security consultant guy who is, it's even before a SOA audit. It's not even, this guy won't be even looking at your smart contract code. He will be really consulting you on your security strategy. He will be teaching you how to spend less money, how to be more efficient, how to plan for audits, if you should do audits in parallel or if you should do them sequentially, when can you do them in parallel. He will teach you how to get working with a bug bounty program. We know Immunify are great, we know Hack and Proof are great. Now Sherlock has a bug bounty, a Cantina, Guardian, I think. So many companies, but we have a few that are very well proven and it's working so good. We have saved so much money for the space from all of these people who actually reported vulnerabilities as bug bounties instead of actually exploiting them. And it's a great thing. But again, you need to have the multi-layered approach. First, of course, if you have the skill to hire better, you should really be looking, when you are recruiting technical talent, when you're recruiting developers, you really should be focusing on recruiting people who know at least a little bit about security. Because some developers, especially some developers who come from Web2 world, from the Web2 development world, they have just been writing Java. Java is so safe, like it's so hard to make mistakes there. Like the EVM is just hugging you all the time. You're just feeling warm and welcome. Whereas when it comes to Solidity, it's the opposite. Like every second is scary. Like you can make a bug, you can write a bug, you can write a vulnerability like every line of code. And even in a single line of code, you can have like 3 vulnerabilities. It's so scary. This is why have a focus when it comes to recruiting your developers. And if you're a developer yourself, you can learn from this. Know at least the basics of Web3 security. Information is freely available. You can look it up on Google, on YouTube, on Twitter, whatever. And you will be a better developer. And as a founder, you will recruit better people if you think about this. The next step, get a security consultant. Usually companies are founded by 1 or 2 co-founders. Usually they're not security focused. Make sure to get a third one, even if it's not a co-founder, at least a consultant. Make sure to get this guy, to work with him and to trust him a lot about your strategy. And then he will probably be advising you on the following. First, get a SOA audit. Of course, it matters. Your budget matters a lot. So this is where this guy comes. He will ask you about it and he will figure out the best strategy. First, you start with the SOA audit. Then you start with the team audit. Maybe you have to do multiple ones. If you plan your security well, you wouldn't have to do multiple audits. Having to do multiple audits is the best sign of you missed it. You were too late to think about security. If you thought about security early, 1 audit would have been enough. So you wouldn't be having to spend 2 or 3 times the money that you're spending. So this is a good sign that you need to be checking. Do not do multiple audits. If you have to, of course, do them, but try to not to have to do them. Next thing after the audits, check your deployment scripts, check your operational security. You'll be launching a project that will be handling probably millions of dollars. You want it to be handling millions of dollars, so prepare for it. Check the deployment scripts, check the security, have at least a little bit of incident response preparation. All of the basics, which, again, information is freely available. You can find it in a tutorial. If you want, just reach out to me, I will send you one. But after you deploy, and even before you deploy, you need to have a bug bounty program set up. Like, companies still do not do this fully, which I really don't understand why. Maybe they just don't know how to do it. Set up your bug bounty program. This is 100% very, very important. And even after this, maybe the next thing to do, continuous security, is to really build relationships with hackers. I have seen let's not name projects, let's not do this, but I have seen many projects that have done all of these steps that I said, and they have been doing so well with security, and they're so respectable, everybody loves them. But when it comes to their relationship with hackers, it doesn't work well. It's just not good. When a hacker reports a critical severity vulnerability, they fight them, they say, no, this is a low severity vulnerability. And why is that? There are multiple options. Maybe they are stingy with their money. Maybe they do not want to pay for, because critical severity vulnerability will be maybe 50 times more than a low severity. Maybe they don't want to look stupid because people respect them for their security best practices. And now if they confirm they had a critical severity bug, they will lose trust, which to me makes sense. But still, what's very important, I have been part of many such situations where Web3 security auditors do not get rewarded properly for finding vulnerabilities on live protocols. This is a huge mistake. And it's a big reason why many people who are great auditors, they don't really try to do bug bounty. They don't really try to find bugs in live protocols. They just do audits because they believe if I'm finding bugs on already live protocols, I'll be just getting into fights. People will be trying to downplay my achievements. They won't be paying me enough money. They will say the vulnerability is not even real. They will invalidate it. So this is a huge problem. And this is why many protocols get hacked. So this is a very easy mistake to fix, in my opinion. Another easy mistake to fix is the consultant, which I see so many companies just don't have it, but they badly need it. They badly need it. In terms of security researchers' viewpoint, you have the career mapped out. It's so good. Like, you start doing contests. First you make like $50, $100. A few times you make a few $1,000s. Then you can do SOA audits. With SOA audits, you can start from, again, a few $100. It's not too hard to sell like a $5,000 audit, which is like huge amount of money when it comes to a normal IT specialist guy, for example, in Bulgaria. And you can sell a $5,000 audit, I would say easily, if you have at least kind of a good brand. And this can be for like maybe 3 days of work. And from there you can scale it further. You can even charge more money, you can do more audits, you can work as much as you want, but you can create a really great career out of it, from which you can actually move to, if you want, to an actually full security company, a full team that works and provides audits to many, many projects. For example, in Pashov Audit Group, in my company, I think today we are doing maybe 5 or 6 audits in parallel. So we are almost, I would say, fully booked. We're working with huge projects. Some of them are even live. Some of them are holding like $50 to $100 million live in their protocols, and we're trying to secure this. So our job is very, very important to be done well. This is why we're hiring only the best auditors. This is why, of course, we charge a premium for this. But the story I'm telling you is basically you can start from just a newbie. You can start with doing some contests, making like a few $100, and then you can get to really managing a big security company. And actually not just making money, but helping this whole security community grow, and the whole crypto community actually grow, because we are very constrained from these hacks. It's so bad. When you see a $100 million hack, so many people just leave the space and never want to be DeFi users. And you know, most Web3 security researchers are not really DeFi users, because they know how bad code is. So what we need to do, I hope many more people join this mission, many more people become auditors, and they start growing a career out of it, and they start building in the space, maybe as sole auditors, maybe as companies, maybe something even bigger, maybe at some day, because for now we haven't seen much acquisitions of companies or mergers. I think it's about time we see them. Soon, we will be seeing probably acquisitions of security companies, or maybe even 2 big companies merging into one. And this will be so exciting. I think with this, we'll do much, much better security. So the main point, maybe the final point, is really make sure to be collaborative. Make sure to be collaborative, be positive, work with people. This conference is a great place to meet more people, speak to as many as possible, speak to me, speak to your friends, the other guys. People want to help here, and it's really nice to see such a good community in Bulgaria, and I know that we can be building more and more, because every year it's like 3 times bigger than the previous years. It's crazy. I have seen multiple 19-year-old guys create huge businesses making millions of dollars. And these are guys who, like 1 year ago, they were like just looking for a job. Just I want a job for like 2,000 euros or whatever. Just I want to be appreciated. And they find this thing. They find Web3 security. They go all in, and now they create these huge businesses. They're not just making millions of dollars, but they're changing the actual security space, changing the quality of the crypto DeFi space. So again, ending on a positive note, be collaborative, create teams, work together.
Thank you so much. I hope that you were taking notes. The Slido exploded with the questions, but we will only choose 2 questions because we don't have too much time. So, the first question. For the beginners nowadays, it's hard to join the space. So do you have any recommendations for them considering the current landscape?
I would say it's hard because it's worth it. Keep grinding, put efforts. If you're thinking it's hard, it's just that you haven't put enough efforts towards this. To do this, you just need to put more of your wake hours into this. Read more books, watch more courses, speak to more people. Here, there are like maybe 50 to 100 auditors. Like, come speak to us, speak to me, I'll show you people that you need to speak to. They'll show you the path. But the basic answer is really put more time and effort into this.
Okay, thank you so much. And the next question, sorry, just 1 second, too many questions. What was your hardest security audit and why?
Hardest security audit. So we have done many audits. My company, Pashov Audit Group, has been live for just 2 years. It's not even 2 years, it's less than 2 years. But we have already done, I think, 350 audits, maybe even 400, which is really crazy. I never believed we can do so many, but we are starting to do even more of them. But recently, like 2 months ago, we have had our first hack, which was a big pain for us, but it's inevitable. Nobody can guarantee 100% security in our space. So we had our first hack. One hack out of 400 audits is a great statistic, but still it's very bad. Like $3 million or something got stolen. And probably this was the hardest one, because we missed a vulnerability that got exploited. And it was so hard because we actually found the vulnerability, we found the attack vector, but we couldn't find a way to exploit it. So Web3 security is so complex. Like, you can find the issue, but you might not be able to explain it, and maybe the hacker will be able to explain it. So it's scary, but it's our job.
Yes, and as you said, Web3 security is very complex, and there are so many questions, so please, you can find Krum later in the networking room, and you can chat with him.
Yes, meet me outside, we'll chat there. Thank you very much.